Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ICroKnit podcast. This is episode 2. It has been a hot minute since I have recorded episode 1, which was in the beginning of August, I think. And now it's October, so it has been a while. Now I don't really think I necessarily need to give you an excuse why it has been so long. But I do think it's good to create some kind of awareness. Because even though you cannot see it from the outside, I'm suffering from depression and I am seeing a therapist, and it's getting better, I guess. So yeah, I don't really need to give you an explanation, but I just thought it would be good for awareness and to break the stigma a bit and make it more approachable, I guess. Because there are a lot of people suffering from depression and you cannot see it. So I think it's good to actually tell you that I'm dealing with this and that I am doing everything in my pace and how I feel comfortable. So if that means that there is no podcast for a couple of months, well, so be it. Okay, so oh, I forgot to tell you all who I am. So I am Edith, and I crochet and knit, and that's what ICroKnit is all about. And this year I focus on only using my stash, and hopefully with that also finishing a lot of my whips, because I have many whips. The finishing of them is not going super great. I'm still slow and I still start a lot of new things, but I do all from my stash, and we're already a long way in the year. Because I started this last February and I told myself that I have to work from my stash for a year. So pretty much all of 2020 and another month in 2021. And it's already halfway through October, so we're almost there, kind of. So that's what this podcast is about. And you can find me as ICroKnit on both Instagram and Facebook. I'm most active on Instagram, here on YouTube, of course, and I also have a Ravelry account with ICroKnit, where I hopefully will post or publish patterns once I make those in the future. I really want to. And I have got a personal one. I will put them somewhere. Talking about publishing my own patterns. This cardigan right here is, well, an FO. But I made it a long time ago. I think it's already 6 years maybe. And it is actually my very first own design, and I'm really proud of it. And I started writing up the pattern back in the day, but I didn't really know anything about pattern writing back then. I think it's all in Dutch too. So yeah, I really want to remake it and yeah, write it in English and publish it as my own pattern. So it is a cardigan with short sleeves, with lace. It's crochet, and I made it with Drops Safran in ice blue, I think. I'm not sure whether you can see it, but on the neckline and all the places where you would expect ribbing, I've used this star stitch, which I really love. Hope you can see that. And I also have that on the bottom. Oh, there's a stain there. It's old and used, and I really loved it. I've actually worn it quite a lot. And now I want to make it again and write down the pattern, have it tested, and do all the steps to publish my own design. I have not given her a name yet. I will think about that. If you have any suggestions, leave them down. So last time I showed you 2 whips. The flower square vest, the white one, which I was making for my aunt, and the Dip 8 Rattle Ami unit. I finished both. Yay. I actually finished things. I would love to show you the end result of the vest, but I sent it to my aunt, so I can't. Yeah, I'm just gonna put in some pictures over here. Yeah, what can I tell you about it? It is made with white cotton. I used a 3mm hook, and yeah, so the interesting thing about this project was that originally it should have been made out of, like, I don't know, 200 of these squares, which you start in the middle and then you go out, and it's really just 2 rows, and then you join as you go, right? And well, I started doing that and I freaking hated it. Do I have a sample right here? I believe I do. Oh yes, I do. But yes. So you made, let's see if it can focus. Will it focus? It will. Cool. So yeah, you have all these squares. You start in the middle, and then you have like even just 1 round, I think. Yeah, it's just 1 round. So stay. So you begin in the middle, you make a chain, and then you make this 1 round and you join as you go, right? So you have an end over here, that's your starting end, and an end over here, which is your ending end, right? And I just made a couple of squares right here. And after this amount, I was done with it. I thought, no, I'm not gonna weave in all these freaking ends. And I also didn't really see a way to do that like beautifully, that it would still be nice. And next to that, my gauge was tighter than what the pattern called for. So I had to make more squares. So I decided that there must be a way to do this easier with less ends. It must be possible, right? So, and then I remembered that I have this Japanese pattern book, which does exactly that. Take a billion of these squares or hexagons or whatever shape you have that you normally sew together, but make it as one big flow, you know, one big piece. So I applied that method. I have explained this in episode 1. It's really difficult to explain it again without the proper material. But basically what I did was start with one, make half of it, go to the next one, from the middle, make the half of it, go to the next one, from the middle to the next one, and just keep going on. And when you finish your row, you turn and make all the top halves. And then you've got all of these squares with only one beginning end. And then you can go on and on and on and on. And in theory, your whole project is one beginning end and one ending end, which come together to finish off that very first square. So I did it that way, and it turned out really pretty, and I'm really happy with it. The other FO is my Dip 8 Rattle Ami. This is also my own pattern, because somehow no one ever made a chip army with 8 legs. Who would have thought? Anyway, so I made it with Katia Capri, and the body is Katia Capri Plus. You would say that plus means that it's a bigger size, but in this case I guess it means that it has multiple colors. I did write out a pattern, and a tester should be making this for me. I'm doubting whether I want to publish it like this, because it is very pillowy. Like, a chip is less round. It's more like, it should be more like a brick, you know, more like that, more like with straight edges, you know. So, and I also want the legs to be a bit less flexible. Yeah, so I'm thinking of making it again, and yeah, make these modifications, and maybe even put in some supporting material in the body so it stays more like a box instead of this pillow. But this is a rattle for a baby who will turn 1 in January, so we kind of need to hurry up. But anyway, it turned out pretty cute. I hope they are happy with it. I hope we are actually going to gift it, because it was a pain, yes, to make it. But yeah, well done. Might make a new one, since Niels, my boyfriend, also wants one. Well, I guess not a rattling one, but you know, one for on his desk. Then I have been making some new things, because I was originally planning making more my whips, like finishing things, you know, but somehow in the past months yeah, one of the whips I started in August, the other one I started last week. The first work in progress I want to tell you about is a test knit, because I've been chosen to do a test knit. I always feel very special when that happens. No, just kidding. But it's always very exciting because you get to make something really nice first. So I've been chosen to do a test knit by Catherine. She is who I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right. It's Ansvaloscope. Yeah, I don't know. This is my educated guess on how to pronounce it. It's her Linsey top. I don't think it's published yet. And she told us to be discreet about construction of the top. So I'm gonna show you very briefly. And then I guess I will tell you about the yarn a bit and then move on. Go to her page if you want to see a full picture. I will link her below. Yeah, so let's see. Yay! Okay, that was it. So I am using yarn entanglement. I don't know. I am using Drops lace. I think it's called wine red or something. Is it focusing? It is focusing. It's really hard to get the color right on pictures. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think so. But there are like these little strings or halos in there in blue and yellow and red. Maybe I keep it up close. You can see it a little bit. So in blue and yellow and red on this rusty red base. I don't think you can get this color anymore, that it's discontinued. I believe it's called something like wine red or something. I originally got this yarn for a crochet pattern in a book. Oh man, I don't remember who's the author of the book. Anyway, but it was a very delicate sweater, so I needed the lace, and it has also like these lace shoulders, and then it was all very fine, and oh, it was so pretty. I've tried, I think, I don't know, 4 times to make it, and it failed every freaking time. Right after that lace thingy, and then you had to do things, and somewhere there it failed. I don't know if it was me that just didn't understand or that the pattern was wrong. And I'm actually thinking the pattern was wrong. So I gave that up. And the funny thing also is that this yarn was one of the only yarns that came as a hank by Drops. Because normally they just give you balls and then you can just make your project, right? But this one came as a skein, as a hank. And I had never seen those before back then. And I really didn't know what the hell to do with them. So, yeah, that was an adventure back in the day. So I kind of gave up. And a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to tackle this beast. I'm going to get this into a cake. So I made a couple of cakes out of the yarn that was salvageable. So that was the Linsey top. Keep an eye on it. I'm gonna try. No, I'm gonna promise that it is finished next podcast. So if it takes another 2 months, no, just kidding. Well, maybe not. But I promise, next podcast, it's finished. The other thing that I started like last week is the Horizon sweater. On the Horizon sweater by Drops Design. I really love that their patterns are all free. And because it's all free, I really love to modify it, And so I also did with this pattern. I started the On the Horizon sweater. I will put in an image here so you know what I'm talking about. And I am making it in Drops Air in gray and light gray. So this yarn is for 5mm needles. It's 50 grams. It has 150 meters, so it's really light. It has 70% alpaca, 25% polyamide, and 7% wool. I really love this yarn. It's so soft and fluffy. And I have modified it in the way that I still have these stripes, the dark stripes and the light stripes. And I have 5 skeins of this and 3 of this. So that's also why I'm striping. But I'm also making it a high-low thing. And the slit will still stay there. You cannot really see it in the picture, but there's like this slit happening in the side. But the back piece is longer with me than the front piece. And I just finished the back and front piece. And I'm ready to start knitting in the round right now. So this is the back piece. Let's see if I can... Yeah. It's the back piece. And I've got a front piece that starts right here, I think. That's the back piece. And then, yeah. And this is the front piece. Let's see. Yeah. So this is shorter than the other one. Let's see if I can do some magic. Can I do some magic? Oh. So, here you see that the back piece is longer than the front. And I really love the difference in length I've chosen right here. Yeah. So, just continue knitting this because it's such a fast project. I think I've knitted now for 3 evenings, maybe 4. I think 3. Yeah. So I hope that this will be finished in like 2 weeks or so, or at least the body. And then the sleeves are all also in the dark gray. So that's going on right there. Oh, this is so soft. Oh, man. Oh, right. Why I have this yarn. So there was a time that I made a cardigan for my mom. And what happened there was that I started making this thing for her, and then I ran out of yarn, and of course it had been already a year, maybe longer, so I had to get new yarn, And that was the moment that I learned about dye baths. Because I got yarn, but it was so different. Like the original yarn I got was like this nice light pink. And the new yarn I got, like in dark colors, like in dark lighting, you couldn't really tell the difference. But when there was daylight, you're like, shit, that's a totally different color. Like it was the same color, but a different gradient, you know? It was so much darker. So eventually I thought, you know what? I shouldn't see this as a defeat, but as an opportunity to do something with this. So you have like this tonal thing, like this ton sur ton opportunity, right? So I thought at that time, let's do something with the darker color and something else with the lighter color, and then combine that. And in the end, I made a crochet cardigan all with lace, and I made knitted brims with the darker color, and it was really beautiful. It was really pretty. In all that train of thought at that time, I thought, I want this for myself, you know? But it's really hard to get things in different dye baths and know that you get that result, you know? So I thought, I just need to choose a dark and a light version of the same yarn, right? So I had those thoughts of doing a knitted back in the dark and a crochet lacy panel in the front in the light, and combine it that way and make this crochet and knit fusion sweater thing. And I started that, and then I hated it so bad. So then I had this yarn left. And now I finally have a project to work this up. And I'm really happy with it. So I already told you about me wanting to write this as a pattern. But I also have some other ideas for designing or for pattern writing. Let's say it that way. Because last week I watched this mini series by Melissa from Knitting the Stash, and she had this mini series which was really a course in how to make a better sweater. And it was all about taking that sweater that you really love, but there are elements that you don't really like, and so to create your own pattern and remake that sweater into the thing that's better, right? This is also part of the reason why I'm wearing this sweater today, next to it being cold. Because this is a sweater that I bought in a store, and I really love it because it has like these nice details. It's not a simple sweater, you know? And this lace over here with all these wavy things right here. And the back is also the same as the shoulder. Oh, the shoulders, the sleeves. So I really love that, and I was always like, oh, I really want to knit this for myself. The thing that I don't love about this sweater is the material. I've looked it up. It's like cheap sock yarn. It's a lot of acrylic or polyamide with like 10% wool. And when when this sweater was new, it's a couple of years now, it scratched so bad. it itches so bad. And now after washing it many times, it's softened up, you know. So now it's okay, but it's peeling a lot, and yeah, I just really want to make it myself. I'm not sure whether I want to do this. It's a nice challenge though, because I don't really know right now how they did this. So only for that alone, it would be nice to make it myself. I wouldn't really change a lot about the design itself, so that's why I really said not necessarily designing my own thing, but making a pattern. Because I do think that construction wise I would make it differently, because this is machine knit, it's made out of these panels and those are sewn together, right? So I would do these in the round instead of this seam, and I think I would do the body also in the round, so not having this seam over here. So yeah, those things I would do differently. But other than that, I really like the design, you know? So that's the thing, like even if I made this thing into a pattern, would that be something people are interested in? Since I didn't really design the thing, you know? It's more an ethical thing, I guess. Like I didn't design it, so should I publish it? That's a bit of the thing, right? And because of that series, it made me thinking, what else would I really love to remake? I have these sweaters that I think my grandmother made, because I have them from my grandmother. They're right over here. So I have this one, and I definitely think she made this, my grandmother, and it's really nice. I do think it's an acrylic. I think so. It feels plasticky. And I really do like this, but I hate this. This is the reason I'm not wearing this. So what I would love to do is figure out what pattern this is, because I think I can look this up in a library, remake it and give it the neckline that I would love. And then it's actually pretty trendy right now, right? Not that I really know anything about fashion, but then it would actually fit well with how we wear sweaters today. Even as like a puffy sleeve. Look at that. Yeah, really pretty. So pretty. But I hate the neckline. Hate it. So that's awesome. I think my grandmother made it. This one. The next one, I'm not sure. Oh, this one I am sure. Oh my goodness. My grandmother made this for me. It's a baby. Baby Edith. Or this. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, it's still so pretty. Oh. Man, it's tight. Okay. So she didn't use a stretchy bindle. That's for sure. But oh man, it's so pretty, guys. There's like these lace details in the neckline. You see that in the brimming? And this is all duplicate stitch. So she embroidered it on it right there. Yeah, so she made a plain quite plain. It's not plain. There's all these cables, even on the sleeves, and lace, and cables. And these buttons. Oh, so cute. So cute. And I think it's a cotton. It's a bit stiff. But I would definitely torture my own daughter someday wearing this. It's so cute. Okay. Thank you, Grandma, for that. Okay, so the other thing I think she made, but it might be even her mother, and I should ask my mother who made this. As I don't know, but she definitely knows. But it is this thing. Will you look at that? I think this actually fits me. This also has a lot of lace and the cables. I think you can see that, right? So there's a cable over here, and there are also cables on the sleeves. Yeah. And it's made in this, very, what do you call that? I wouldn't say variegated, but not in color, but in thickness. I don't know if that makes sense. There's a hair on there. It's a bit, how to say, like there are a couple of stains in the neckline. And I'm not sure whether I love the yarn. I don't know. And if I would make it again, which I really would like to do, I think I would skip the cable on the sleeve. Because I'm not loving that. There are even two cables. Can I put my arm in there? I hope you can see that. Oh, there you go. So it has two cables on the sleeve, and it goes onto the shoulder. It's really pretty. Sure is. And you almost cannot see it, I think. But there is a seam right here. This is a seam. I would definitely not do it with a seam, I think. Although I don't really know a lot about cables, so maybe you have to. I'm not sure. Next year will be the year of cables. Last year was the year of lace. This year is the year of stash. Next year will be the year of cables. I definitely need to learn more about cables. Yeah. Oh, I love this piece so much. The back is the same as the front, and I'm not sure whether I would do that. I think I would do the lace only in the front. Maybe I would repeat the cable in the back, but the lace panel would be gone. Oh, it's so pretty. So, yeah, those are all these things that are in my mind, like, oh, I really want to make those. And in the past, this would be the moment to buy all the yarn to do it, and then never do it. So I'm really glad this year I have to stay with my stash. Oh man. Because of course I look into my stash and be like, can I make this? Can I actually design it right now? And if I could, I probably did. But well, I have a lot of, you can see it I think, over here. It's all Drops Safran, which all does not have a purpose at this moment, so maybe. That was all yarny bits of this podcast, and I still want to end with sharing what I've been watching. while I've been knitting and crocheting in the past, well, since last podcast, and it has been a while. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of things. So I'm just gonna give you some highlights, I guess. So actually, when I was recording the first episode, I just finished Rain, I believe. Yeah, I just finished Rain. Amazing show. Still, if you have not seen it yet, go watch it. Okay. But I just finished it. I didn't have a new show yet. But shortly after I published the first episode, I started watching The Good Place. And The Good Place, oh gosh, I don't remember how many seasons it had. How many seasons it has? Wow. But I've watched it all in 2 weeks. It was so good. Oh, it's so sad that it's all over now. So The Good Place is about this group of people that died, and they went to the hereafter, right? And it's called The Good Place. And it's like heaven, you know, but it's the good place. And but clearly, at least the main character, she's like, oh, I fucked up in life. I don't belong here, you know. I'm not a good person. So she does everything to make it up. So she does belong there, and it's amazing. Later, there will be this big plot twist, and I don't want to spoil it too much. You just have to watch it. It's amazing. After The Good Place, I actually started a little Japanese hiragana and katakana course. It was like a 10-day bootcamp thing. And from that, my joy for or my love for Japanese series came back to me a little bit. And Japanese series are either just like American series or whatever, or they are based off a manga, right? And I really love the ones that are based off manga, because they are kind of over the top and, yeah, not normal. I don't know. Not your basic, what'd you say? Not your basic acting or storytelling. So I really love that. And I have watched a couple of series, and I'm not gonna go through all of them. I tend to not watch it a lot during knitting and crochet, because I need to look at my knitting and crochet, and my Japanese is not good enough to understand it, so it goes really slow when I watch Japanese series, since I have to read the subtitles as well at that point. But I have been watching a series that's called Perfect World, and it's really nice. It's about this girl who runs into her high school crush years later, and she still feels all the feelings, very basic. But plot twist, the guy got paralyzed from the waist down. And so what's really lovely about this series is that it also picks up on all these stigmas about handicapped people and how to have a relationship with them, and how other people look at that, like, should you be in that relationship or no. So it's a really great ethical social topic, you know, and they go really deep into that. And oh, it was so good. It was so good. Because it shows that even if you are paralyzed or you are handicapped, you are still a person. And you can do whatever you want to do. As long as you believe in yourself. And it was so powerful. I really recommend you to watch it if you are open to watching Japanese things. Currently, I have started the last season of Awkward. And Awkward, if you don't know, is a series, an American series, about a girl who just started high school, and you go through her entire high school career, right? And I think it's supposed to be like this painfully recognizable or something, right? To people. Because they have been in high school and they all know what she's going through or something. I think that's what they wanted to achieve with this series. I'm not recognizing any of it, to be honest. And that's probably because I'm not American, but Dutch. Our high schools are so different that I don't recognize anything of it. So yeah, to me, I don't really get it sometimes. It's over the top to me. If there are Americans watching and they have seen Awkward, please tell me whether that show is actually based on the real high school experience in America. Because I cannot imagine that to be high school. Like, then everybody should be traumatized. No. That cannot be normal. I think that was it for today. All the standard things. Like and subscribe, because you otherwise do not get a notification that I bring out a new episode. And yeah, keep on knitting, keep on crocheting, keep on doing whatever you do, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.